You're exploring downtown Bellingham, enjoying the vibrancy that this part of our home has to offer. From local eats to shopping, scenery, artwork, and more, there's so much that makes up the community of downtown Bellingham. During your adventure, you take a turn down Commercial Street, which is home to so many iconic and well-loved businesses in Bellingham. Places like Brandywine Kitchen, JoJo's Donuts, Moe's Parlor, Wink Wink Boutique, and MW Soapworks, right next door to Holly's Meat Pies.
Hi, welcome to MW Soapworks.
This queer and woman-owned business has been part of Bellingham's fabric for quite some time, as they were founded in 2013, and excitedly just opened a retail location in downtown Bellingham in August of 2021. Their overarching goal is to create low-waste skincare and self-care products for a healthy you, healthy communities, and a healthy planet.
My name's Andrea Lawson, and I own MW Soapworks.
My name is Teddy Rivard, and I co-own MW Soapworks.
MW Soapworks is a natural skincare brand started in 2014, and we try to make skincare, self-devotion, and self-care products that are for a healthy you, healthy communities, and a healthy planet. How I got into making soap and natural skincare products was when I was growing up, I went to a lot of farmers markets and art markets, and I always gravitated to the soap makers. I always was so drawn to people that were like interacting with the power of plants and just making beautiful creations with natural ingredients, and I always just really super admired them. I was interested in making soap for a long time, and then when I looked into it, it is a chemical process, so I got kind of freaked out and I was like, no, that's a later date dream that I'm gonna pursue. And then eventually I got over that fear and just jumped in, and there's been no turning back. I'm having a great time, and people really love my products, and yeah, we're having a good time.
What was it like just getting started with the process?
Pretty terrifying. Now it's like, it's very casual. I make soap several times a week, and I have my process down. I have a recipe that I trust. Things generally go pretty well, and when they don't, I'm like, okay, cool. I know what I'm doing. I am an expert. I can handle this. Whereas in the beginning, I was like, okay, cool. Like, all right, it's chemistry. Like, there are fumes. I gotta open the window. I have to have a fan on. I have to have all my safety gear. Like, I was super nervous about, just the chemistry side of things, but honestly, like, I am smart. I'm good at chemistry. I was always good at that kind of stuff in school, and I am doing something that I love every day. So I just really lean into that and have a good time with it. So when I started my business, I was living in a one-bedroom apartment. That was all carpeted also. If you are a soap maker out there, you understand that carpet in your studio isn't super great. When I moved into my house, I bought my house in 2015 and was able to dedicate a soap studio in that house. From there, it's an 80 square foot studio, and I started doing, pop-up events. I did farmers markets regularly. There was a certain point where I was doing 3 markets a week, which was a lot, and it was getting to a point where I had events, I had stores that stocked my things, and I wanted to have things in stock consistently for stores and my customers. And I was getting to this point of like, okay, this is all I can do with this space that I have. I need a next step. And so that's when we started thinking about like looking into a commercial space for at least making stuff, maybe having a retail space. We really wanted to lean into having more autonomy in our business and being a place where we could help support other businesses that were also struggling. And as far as why downtown Bellingham for our store, I've always had a lot of respect for businesses here in downtown. Jennifer with the Downtown Bellingham partnership showed us this space, and we were like, dang. This could fit, this could be good. So yeah, it just kind of, the timing worked out, and the vision definitely came together. And it's really cool when that happens. Yeah, so here at MW Soapworks, you can find our stuff as well as around 45 other small businesses. We really wanted to lean into the aspect of a community market, but in a brick and mortar. We've got tons of art prints. We really wanted to lean into focusing on West Coast makers, so these are not all local artists, but we do try to get some from the Whatcom County area. We have ceramic mugs, we have tea and botanicals. You know, I mentioned eco swaps. So an eco swap is something like this solid dish soap that is replacing something that isn't necessarily as great for the environment. So with traditional liquid dish soap, you are paying for the liquid in it. It's usually just, you know, a soap base and then added water. So the carbon footprint of shipping that is going to be more than this concentrated solid bar. Something like that where you are taking something that isn't as great for the environment and swapping it for something that is better.
And then as you like come around and you enter the kind of like retail floor proper, have a lot of really nice jewelry from entirely local artists. We really want to spotlight artists whose like heritage we're supporting and whose art is informed by that. Really focusing on wanting to make sure that we're not appropriating any culture by like carrying art made in that style.
These are, you know, companies that I've connected with over the years through markets or through social media. I try to lean into, you know, companies that we have a personal relationship with. Some of it is, you know, just stuff that we like. It's really important for us to partner with people that have similar ethics as us. We're a queer-owned business, so if we're gonna, you know, stock something and then we find out later that like, oh, these people think that we shouldn't exist. We don't want to, you know, partner with them. So we always, you know, before partnering with a new business, we always kind of like look at their website and look at their social media and see if we can get a little glimpse into their politics and their ethics, because that's very important to us. Because it's a chemical process, I still actually make the soap at my home studio, and then everything else I do here. So we've got about, you know, this front portion is the retail space, and we've got about the same amount of space in the back here that is a workspace. You know, that's where we cure all of our soaps, that's where we store all of our soaps. It's much bigger than 80 square feet, so that is awesome. And then that's where I make all of the products that is not related to, you know, a chemical reaction.
Yeah, I think even aside from the use of this front half as a retail space, the back half just expanding how much backstock we can have and how well prepared we can feel for all of our events.
And our stockists.
And our stockists, like all the people that we want to keep our products and want to support us. It's just been so much easier to have so much more space.
Yeah. Having the cure space and the storage space has been a game changer for our business. A lot of people are surprised by the fact that soap has to cure. Some soap makers aren't curing their soap fully, but we definitely do an at least month-long cure time. And, you know, if you take a look in the back here, you can see we have a rack of soaps that are curing. What the cure time does is it makes for a long-lasting bar that is curing out some of the liquid content in the bar. And so when you're going to use that bar soap, it's going to be nice and hard. It's going to last longer for you. So people come in and they're like, oh no, you're out of, you know, my favorite kind of soap. You're out of fig, usually, is the one that people are looking for. And we really want to have it in stock for you, but sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to get it back into stock. So like I mentioned before, we don't make the soap here in the store. I have a home studio where I make the soap, but I do cart all of the soap loaves down here. So you kind of can imagine what I do with the soap. So I make it in a big batch and then I pour it into these silicone molds. We use wooden molds, but then we line them with these silicone molds. That's another way that we keep, you know, sustainable practices in our business. We're not creating a lot of waste with our production, which is great. But yeah, I pour the soap in here and then I kind of drag my spatula across the soap. It starts out as kind of like a pudding consistency. So that's why you can kind of see the waves in there. And that's just, you know, this is the style that I like It is, part of my classic MW Soapworks soap design. Once I bring the loaves of soap down to the store, I want to cut them into bars so that I can put them on my cure rack for a month before selling them to the public. I line it up in my beautiful multi-bar wire cutter, and this is kind of fun. You tune the wires. So basically you want the wires nice and tight, and in order to get a clean line through the soap, you want them to be about the same tone or tightness. So yeah, I'm just gonna, it's arbitrary. I'm just gonna tighten this one a little bit. Yeah. So then I will just line it up and make sure that it is where I want it before I apply pressure evenly. Consistently. It makes a very satisfying twang when it makes it through the soap. And then after that, we have beautiful soap bars. And then I just do it again.
Is this the most satisfying part?
Absolutely. I love it.
Question that I often get is about lye in the soaps. People will talk about having a sensitivity to lye, or they're like asking, does your soap contain lye? And I think that it's hard because kind of all soap contains lye. Part of the process, the chemical process that turns fat into soap, just involves using a strong base, and lye is one of the most gentle, strong bases that you can use, which is one of the main reasons why lye is so common in soaps. But it's a chemical process, and the lye reacts out entirely. I think that we are several centuries away from the point when there was still lye in the finished product, just because people didn't have the chemical knowledge in order to formulate something that would react all of the lye out. And so when I get that question, it's kind of hard to say, oh yeah, we put lye into our soap. It officiated the marriage of the other ingredients, but it's not there afterwards. Obviously, we have quite a few different scents of soap. As one of the comments we will sometimes get is that it is a hard choice, or we could consider making fewer, and we're never going to. It's just going to be this is the passion. Like, it's exciting to develop additional fragrances.
I have a problem.
Make blends. We also have several balms that are really nice. We have one that's kind of like a vapor rub kind of breathe easy balm, an herbal healing balm that's great for like dry or cracked skin. And then our big item for the balms is our sore muscle balm. It's like icy hot. It's olive oil that's been slow infused with cayenne and arnica flower, and then there's
ginger.
And it turns this like bright orange red color, and then it gets strained and added to a bunch of other things, but included in there is menthol crystal, which has this really nice cooling effect. So it's you massage that in, and just like it's hard to describe how nice it feels. But we have deodorants, are one of our other favorites. Beard oil, which was really nice, especially for me during the pandemic, like wearing masks all the time. Face and neck oil. We also have solid lotion sticks, which is kind of a nice alternative to like a cream lotion. And then it's like you have a giant lip balm, but for your whole body, anywhere that you need it.
I think it's also important to note that we have a lot of different unscented soaps. That is a request that we've gotten a lot over the years. A lot of people have sensitive skin, and that is a great option for people that are looking for, something simple that's going to be good for their skin, rather than chock full of chemicals, chock full of weird fragrances. Yeah, it's very good for people with psoriasis or eczema. And one of the reasons why I have a problem with choosing fewer scents and styles of soap is because I want to offer something that people are excited about. And the more things I offer, the more likely it will be that someone finds something that they're going to fall in love with. And that's really special for me and for them.
There is not a single soap that we make or sell that I haven't interacted with someone who's just so excited that we had it, or very stoked to get like 3 of them, just to like stock up, because they're like, man, I've never found soap that smelled like this, or like has, feels this way, and so that's been really nice. That came up with our dog shampoo, just like people who never thought of using like a natural or like a bar dog shampoo. And it's just, it's very nice. It doesn't have any other fragrances. There's nothing that's gonna like irritate the dog's skin or interact with them in a health way. Just like we think of something that people will need for soap, and then Andrea will do research and do testing and like make batches after batch after batch to figure out and like hone in on exactly the recipe that she wants. And now we have things like laundry soap and hard dish soap bars for people to use that are just awesome natural alternatives to getting commercial soaps.
As far as favorite things to make, definitely soap. Soap is definitely number one. That was a good guess. I would say honestly the sore muscle balm. And the reason behind that is because, we talked about plant magic and plant-powered ingredients, plant-powered products. Sore muscle balm it's incredible. A lot of people have had wonderful results with it. I've had people have it help with their sore muscles. It also has helped with joint pain, arthritis. The reason why I love making it is, that piece of I'm helping so many people with that product, but also I get to do really cool plant magic with that. I get to add, arnica, ginger, and cayenne to olive oil, and I leave that for at least a month, and it's beautiful. Just being able to see the process of that slow infusion is magic, and I love it so much. And the menthol crystals, they look like quartz crystals. They are beautiful. They are probably the most beautiful ingredient that I have. I love plants, arnica flowers, they're gorgeous. Calendula petals, they're beautiful. But menthol crystals, they make that if you think of if you have crystals and you pick some up and they make that tinkling noise. That's what menthol crystals sound like. And so, I get to measure them out, and it's beautiful, and it makes wonderful noises that make me very happy. And, the essential oils that I'm using also smell really good. And so, yeah, it's just the coupling of, man, I'm doing this cool thing where I get to help so many people, and I'm getting the aromatherapy benefits of making it, and get to work with really cool ingredients that I'm proud to use.
What is your favorite part about owning this business?
I would say definitely the customers and the maker community. I have some incredible people in my life that I've met over the years. I have created best friendships with, makers that were next to me in the pop-up tent events that I would do. And it's just really special that every day we get to show up to a job where people come in and they are so excited about the things that we are making. It's really cool that we get to be a part of their lives in a way that brings them so much joy. I personally when I go look at other soaps, or when I'm looking at my own soaps, when I smell them, I get really excited about anything citrus related. That feeling that I get when I'm lemongrass, oh, it's so good, I love getting to see that reaction on people's faces for whatever brings them joy. Whether it's lavender essential oil soaps or, something else. It's just oh, this is so good. Oh my gosh. Thank you. So that brings me a lot of joy. And then, yeah, the maker community is just incredible. There's a lot of collaboration. There's a lot of love. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have a store and help highlight other small businesses and give them another opportunity, is just because they're amazing. They're doing incredible work and making incredible things. It's just really cool to be able to showcase people that are so good at their own crafts.
To learn more about Andrea, Teddy, and the mission of their business, not to mention to buy some amazing product, you can find their website online at MWSoapworks.com, as well as their Instagram and Facebook at MW Soapworks. Or maybe you want to check them out in person and shop and smell the soap for yourself. You can find their business at 1310 Commercial Street in beautiful downtown Bellingham, Washington.
Lined up, yeah.
Taylor, how are you feeling?
Good.
I'm excited but nervous because I'm I don't think I can mix this up, but also
Twang.
and And then you just pull
And
it
then
out.
you leave it
Okay.
and pull the soap bars out.